Well, I'll be damned. Did I enjoy a Terrifier movie? If you know me or you watched my reaction to Terrifier 3, you will know I am not a huge fan of the Terrifier movies. However, Terrifier 3 actually surprised me. Let me tell you, I was really at odds with myself, wondering, should I go, should I not go? Will this be too much for me? Do I really want to do this to myself? Obviously, I decided to bite the bullet. Oh my days. Obviously, I decided to bite the bullet and give the movie a chance. I went by myself at 10 a.m., about 10 people in the theater. I really woke up and chose violence. Long story short, I'm glad I went, and I found myself actually enjoying it. What the f is wrong with me? So Terrifier 3 is the third installment in the Terrifier series, written and directed by Damien Leone. This one takes place during the Christmas season and follows Sienna from the second film as she attempts to rebuild her life, while Art the Clown is in pursuit of her alongside his new accomplice, Victoria Hayes, who survived the Art the Clown in the first installment of the franchise. The first positive that I have for this movie actually might be a negative in some people's eyes, and that is, in at least my opinion, I felt this film was much tamer than the previous two. Don't get me wrong, they still push the envelope here, but I found it a lot less gorier than the previous two Terrifier films. The way in which Terrifier 3 was filmed, I think, also contributes to the movie as a whole coming across a little bit more tame. They use a lot of quick camera cuts, so a lot of the insanely gory scenes are very quick to cut away, so you don't see anything for too long. Also, I went into the movie expecting the worst of the worst, so I went in with a certain expectation there, and let me say, I am pleasantly surprised that this was extremely bearable for someone who likes gore but doesn't love gore. So keep that in mind if you are on the fence with going to this movie like I was. The biggest positive of the movie, however, for me is Sienna, played by Lauren Lavera. I said this once, I'll say it again. I think the best thing to come out of the Terrifier series is the character of Sienna. She is great in the second film, but I think she excels even more in the third. We get to see a very vulnerable side of Sienna in this, and she's dealing with the heavy trauma that was inflicted on her by Art the Clown in the second installment of the series, and we see her trauma personified through visions, through flashbacks, through nightmares. While I would say she's vulnerable for the majority of this movie, she also is just as much of a badass as she was in the second, so that's something to look forward to. I am shocked that these words are going to come out of my mouth, but another positive of this movie is Art the Clown, or as I call him, Art the Show. I actually found him funny in this one, believe it or not. I think Art has more moments of interacting with people in a non-violent way in this one, so he shows more personality, and he has some pretty funny antics actually with people, just him reacting to what people are saying. There's this one scene where he sees someone dressed as Santa, and then he sees like a picture of Santa on the wall, and he's like, "That's you! Oh my god, Santa!" It's literally like a Will Ferrell moment.
Santa! Oh my god!
And it was kind of cute. Did I just call Art the Clown cute? I'm going through something. There's another scene where someone is talking about Art and saying something along the lines of, he's the most notorious serial killer, and Art is there actually eavesdropping on it, and he's like, "Stop it," you know, with his facial expressions. I just felt he was more lighthearted in this one, and the humor and the comedic relief actually came across to me in this one, and I did not get that in the first and second films, personally. He's definitely in the Christmas spirit in this one, that cheeky bastard. Also, something to add, Victoria Hayes, who is his apprentice, does some of Art's bidding, definitely more so than the little pale girl in the second film, and she can actually speak, so I feel like the evilness, so to say, is pretty evenly shared between the two of them, somehow making Art seem at least a little less cruel, which I like. Final positive for the Terrifier movie is I actually like the storyline here. We have a clear beginning, middle, and end with a super solid protagonist to root for and a pretty good pace, and also a couple of subplots that work well in developing some of our side characters, as well as just some good stops along the way for Art as he pursues Sienna. And this is due to good writing and a good script, so props to Damien Leone for that. Moving on to a mixed feeling I have about Terrifier 3. Kids are not off limits in this one, and when I say kids, I don't mean 16, 17, 18, I mean 7, 8, 9. I have previously said that if Art goes after children, I am done with the franchise forever. However, Terrifier 3 does this in a tasteful way. How can you murder kids in a tasteful way, you may ask? The word tasteful in itself is a stretch of a word to use when describing a Terrifier movie. However, the kids' deaths in this film are either off-screen or implied. I appreciate that they did this with this film. I did not want to see a kid tortured. Moving on to some negatives I have for this movie. Believe it or not, one of the negatives I have is the gore, actually. Who'd have thought? With the budget of Terrifier 3 being really, really large compared to that of Terrifier 1 and Terrifier 2, I was kind of surprised that some of the gore looked fake at times. Rather, maybe I'll say the gore looked good, not great, in my honest opinion. I thought that a lot of the kills, especially the first one, the blood looked a little bit discolored, a little bit pink. I don't know. This isn't a huge hindrance to the movie, more of a surprising observation, to be honest. Something else that I didn't love about the movie is that Jonathan is really not a big character in this one at all. Instead, they focus on Sienna and her cousin Gabby's relationship. I didn't mind this direction that they went, but I really liked how in the second film, Jonathan was crucial in helping defeat Art. He knew all about the clown, and Sienna and him were a pretty well-oiled machine with, you know, Jonathan being the brains, how to defeat him, and Sienna being the bronze. They don't really team up in this one to go after Art. Jonathan's really just trying to live a normal life as a college student, and I mean, I don't blame him, but I did want to see more of him. Final negative is that there are a few plot gaps to me. For example, we see somebody's hands get obliterated, and 2 seconds later, they're presumably miraculously healed. Another example, we see Art and his accomplice go into seemingly like a deep sleep for 5 years, presumably, and then all of a sudden, they wake up one day, okay, Art and Victoria activated. To be fair, I activate as well during the Christmas season, but the nature of why they had to sit dormant wasn't really answered for me. Really just a nitpicks. Really, these are just nitpick things at this point, but large enough that I noticed and did leave the film with a few questions. But overall, guys, I'm shocked at how much I actually enjoyed this movie. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Can you believe that? I thought that the writing was good. The movie still pushed the limits without going off the rails, which is a big positive for me, and Sienna kicked ass. Of course. I didn't expect anything less from her. I think Terrifier fans, of course, will love this. The kills incorporate the theme of Christmas, and Art's actually funny in this one. I'm conceding a lot of things with Art. If you have seen my Terrifier 3 reaction video, you'll know I did not like Art in the first and second, but I really like him here. And I think he's funny. I appreciate his obsession with Santa. Made me laugh, actually. But also, if you are not really a Terrifier fan like me, but you do like some gore, I think not only will you appreciate Terrifier 3, it might be your favorite out of all the Terrifier movies so far. But let's see what the general consensus is. I'm curious if people are loving this or not. I assume they are, but I have not looked yet. Oh yeah, people were loving it. 4.2. It basically is all 5s. Yeah, like I said, I'm very surprised. I liked it. I gave it a 4 out of 5. The average audience score is a 4.2. Rotten Tomatoes 78, 8 out of 10. Yeah. I mean, if you like the Terrifier movies, you're just gonna love it, I think. And I've also said in the past that I don't love Christmas horror, but for some reason this one gave such a good nostalgic feel of Christmas. I liked the feeling of it. I liked how they incorporated the music, "Oh Come All Ye Faithful, Silent Night," at the end and during the kills. I mean, pretty well done. It really was. Art will always be Art show to me, but he has gained some credibility for me here in his performance in Terrifier 3. But what did you guys think? I imagine die-hard Terrifier fans probably still prefer the first two, but I'm curious what you guys thought of the movie. Do you guys agree? Do you disagree? What did you think? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and thank you for watching, and catch you next time.